Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Eat, Crit and Survive, where a bunch of people gather in different locations to play some Dungeons and Dragons. It's Friday, we're live, and it's time for D&D.
Yay!
To paraphrase a Channel 4 show. Quick, Laura, touch your head like Doc Whittaker. It's fine.
What?
You watched the last leg, it's fine. Anyway,
We pay attention.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, it's Friday and it's the end of the week, and we're going to do some more D&D and find out what's going on with stuff.
Yes, because stuff here always happens.
We're going to try. We may not actually succeed in finding out anything.
You know, life happens. In random, unrelated news, the Kickstarter live act for Game Tea, their Coins of Fate that we talked about on this show, that is being shipped out in the next month or so, which is going to be awesome because that is in time for the next campaign, and I'm looking forward to using it.
Wait, we got a month? Yo, Game Tea, if you're listening, if you could delay that order, just blame it on COVID. Everyone else is doing it. Trust me. Just put it on there, delay it by 6 months because Connor really wants to hit level 20, and I don't think we're going to do that in a month.
You know, it's funny you say that because they put out a thing yesterday saying that they're a month ahead of schedule.
Yeah, it arrives today. Roll for initiative.
And that's the end of the campaign. Everyone rolled 4d6 multiple times. And
you know what? That's the only bit I like about starting a new campaign. They're like, you got to start at level 1. You're like, oh, it's just the worst thing ever when, you know, like encounters are, there are 3 crabs that wash up on the beach and it is a deadly encounter. That is so lame. But the fear that these dice can give you when you're rolling a character and you're like, for the love of Christ, just be at least 1/6. Just be 1. We can't all be like Dan. God bless his soul. I know he's not actually dead, but he doesn't play with us anymore. But that motherfucker rolled like was it like 3 18s? And we were all there.
2 or 3 18s, yeah.
I watched him do it. It's the only D&D player in my life that I've ever seen that goes, hey, is it okay if I re-roll the 18 that I've got? Because I feel like my character's going to be too powerful.
Yeah. That's
when you know that you're playing to the upper limits.
In comparison,
I just rolled 1/6. The dice listened to me. It's the 3 1s also that I'm bothered about. Which, you know, we all know that it all goes into int.
Yeah. It's in comparison though to when. Is it in comparison to when we're rolling stats? Tom rolled stats for Lyra first time rounds. Re-rolled them and got pretty much the same thing, except
just in different orders.
One was 1 higher.
Yeah. And I think it was all 13s and like a 10 or something.
It was like 2 10s, 2 13s, and 2 15s or something like that.
Yeah, something.
That doesn't.
Oh, I played with a player on Monday who would actually just turn around and go, it's too higher than point buy, so, you know. Anything higher than point buy is a win. Because I hate point buy.
I was going to ask if Connor's had any fizzy drink before he came on, because he is rambling a lot.
I am. I'm going. I've been home early. I've had a bath. I've had dinner, and I've got that right kind of body tingle that's going on.
You even cremated a pizza.
I did burn a pizza a lot.
It was a sacrificial pizza, yes.
More pepperoni for the pepperoni gods.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
Okay.
If you want to carry on the campaign, just Luke, do you pre-log?
Well, can we have the pepperoni god in the pantheon for the next campaign?
Yeah. All right.
I think I know someone who could make it happen.
There's probably some gaps in there. So, when we last left off, the Wandering Stars had dealt with a second visionary in the material plane, the ever-moving boulder, and had escaped from South Beach, leaving a platinum mine potentially full of platinum and survivors, and just left. Made their way north-ish to Channel Point on the Talos continent, and had a conversation with some guards and then the boss. They then returned to their little floating blimp. Asher had a conversation with one of her old buddies there was some mild murdering that occurred overnight, but it was, not permanently, but Kafina, the halfling, who's been wandering around with the party for so many months now, is now a drow. Still not quite sure how that's going to affect her in the future, but we'll see.
Sorry, she's only Jared's only going to be playing this character for like a month, so
Yeah, it's fine. But
Still the same person, just looks different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But having dealt with that, bought us some new clothes, and met a gnome of questionable temperament in an apothecary. Tom does not like that gnome.
yeah, so you look like the cat then, which is like no.
That's my favorite cat.
We got some more healing potions, and then set off back with some refugees up to back to your keep. However, before that happened, there was a fight that Asher had where she just stood there and healed whilst being punched repeatedly, and then a ooze said that there was a deal to be made in the name of their master, Jubilex, who gave you a little bit of a guide ooze that would allow you to go and defeat the Queen of Rot and Decay, should you be so tempted and so obliged. In exchange, he would return back to his plane and devour everything there in the abyss, and that would leave the city of Abelos alone. Keep that radio, Ross.
Sorry.
I think someone else needs to just speak after me, and then it will just carry over.
I'm about to do some tweaks.
Yeah. But as you return back to your keep, Nebula Keep, Asher, Nuala, and Cedric headed back to the capital. They'll got some herbs and spices, 11 probably, so that they could fix Cedric too. And
Colonel Sanders has nothing on us.
So?
Colonel Sanders has nothing on us.
Indeed. But you are making your way back, the 2-day journey that it will take you to return. Various other things have happened. Foundling has discovered how cool their various items are.
Yeah.
Lyra is...
I had a bit of downtime to experiment and get the hang of it.
Yeah. It works out how the extra arms work. It's all good.
Yeah.
Lyra... I can't remember what Lyra did. Lyra really did anything, did she? Had a chat with Olbrion about the hunt. And Kafina attempted to teleport back after having a conversation with a god, or teleport over to the Ark. Having cast the teleportation circle spell, however, the magic seemed to not take, and that is where we pick up. So, you are outside of Nebula Keep, behind the other side of the illusion walls, having remembered not to cast the spell inside the keep, because that sort of magic is blocked here. What are you doing, Kafina?
Just to double check, what would I know that if the circle's destroyed off the top of my head, I know that's a bad thing. Is there anything else I know that would obscure the spell?
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting.
Who else is present, by the way? I've lost track.
Kafina went outside on her own. Everyone,
with me.
Asher, Nuala, and Cedric are walking back from the capital. Lyra, Foundling, Leela, Calatar, and Cruz are all in the keep, doing various things. Calatar's leading.
23 on that, by the way.
23, okay. There's a number of reasons why a teleportation circle might not work. One, if it is not on the same plane of existence as you. There is some magic that is preventing teleportation, such as the spell, the magic that encompasses your keep, that prevents teleportation. Somehow access to the teleportation circle has been removed, or the teleportation circle itself has been destroyed. those are the main four things that may have occurred.
And as far as I know, the Ark and Caradon, none of that was at risk of being attacked. As far as we know, we knew all the places the planes were breaking through, right?
Correct. As far as you know, there was nothing that was going on over there as far as the cult is concerned.
Right. Sorry, what were the other three reasons? It's being obscured, on the wrong plane, and
Destroyed.
No,
or your access to it has been revoked. For some.
My access to it has been revoked.
In the teleportation circle might have been changed in some way to prevent.
It destroys the old. They kind of they'd be destroyed anyway. It takes a full year to create one, so they kind of make a new one.
Create, but it doesn't necessarily mean that a high-power wizard might not be able to adjust it.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess as well they could have just finished making a new one over the last year and destroyed the old one for, I don't know, renovations. They could have fit.
You have no idea, or you have no idea what they do. You know, that's a wizarding thing. You're
I'm not a wizard. I just pretend to be. I'm gonna go inside, and hopefully everyone's still, like, I don't know, in the lounge or the kitchen or wherever they are.
Family is flailing around with a sword and their tonfas and sort of going through some very complicated forms with multiple arms. It's very confusing to watch. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
Synchronized doggy paddle.
Yep.
Probably reminds you a bit of seeing the Octopussy fight.
I'm not sure I should interrupt this. I might look for someone else to talk to. Who else was there?
Everyone except for Cedric and Asher. Cedric and Asher.
All right. I'll go look for Lyra.
Well, Cedric 2 is there, I think. Cedric 2 is left behind.
Yeah.
There is a Cedric.
Lyra or Leela, whoever I find first. Lyra. No, I'm looking for Lyra.
Okay, you find Lyra.
Hey, Lyra, sorry, I know not everyone's here at the moment. This probably sounds like a terrible idea, but I'm really concerned about the Ark at the moment. I can't seem to teleport there. I've only got one lot of supplies left, so I don't really want to try it again and be stuck. Do you, and maybe if we find Leela and someone else, mind piloting the ship just to drop me off in Caradon?
If you couldn't get there, is it a good idea to go in there blind?
Well,
just in case something bad's happened, we don't want to take the ship and.
Well, I mean, it would have been blind. Yeah, well, it would have been blind by myself a minute ago if I managed to go through the teleportation circle.
And if I'd known you were planning it, I would have advised against it.
Yeah, probably. I didn't expect something to be off about this. I keep thinking Caradon's untouched from all this, but I should really remember that George's family was already entangled in the cults of the void there, so maybe there's something more going on. I mean, if we come in at the high up in the sky in the fields above Caradon, we should at least be able to see what's going on.
Don't think taking the ship should be our first avenue of approach here. Is Kelatar not around? Could we ask him to send a message to someone? He may not have met anyone. I can't remember. Has he met anyone in the Ark?
He met the grumpy bloke who told us all to leave when he was talking to Fee.
Yeah,
he met Kelatar's stepdad. No.
Fee's stepdad.
Fee's stepdad.
Whatever.
Stepdad.
Luke gave away the plot twist again.
Sorry?
Luke gave away the plot twist again.
I suppose he's also met Trick, who might be at the Ark.
Yeah, possibly.
I would have thought sending that kind of message first would be.
That sounds all right. Do you know if he's about?
I think he should be.
Oh.
You turn around and he's sat at the table reading.
Oh, right. Hi, Keltag, do you have enough magic in you to send a message for me to someone you met briefly in the Ark?
Yes, I probably do.
Do you remember that grumpy fuck that I was talking to when I first got there?
The person who's stopping your mother, yes?
Yes, not the way I wanted to think about it, but yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, what would you rather I said? Stepfather?
Sure. I mean,
Who's fucking your
I don't know. Just call him the dick from the Ark. It's real convenient because, you know.
But your mother calls him.
Yeah.
Oh. You're not there, Asher.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry. If it's not too much trouble, if it is trouble, I don't know. I'll just table it for now.
What you want to say?
I'm unable to get to teleport into the Ark's teleportation. No, wait. I can't seem to teleport to the Ark's teleportation circle. What could be wrong? I am now a dark elf. Just in case that's relevant, because that's the only thing that I think I've changed since last time.
maybe make sure to specify that it's from you.
Yes, this is from Fee. Can't teleport into Ark. Why is that? Also, I'm now a dark elf.
No.
No. Ruffle. That made it worse, Ross. Whatever you were doing made it much
I
worse.
thought my audio was out, but I think I've now fixed it. But also, Danny happened to walk into the room at the same time, so she did a look of like, well, she realised what she'd done.
It's fine.
You guys can hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good.
Nothing else. Let's keep that.
That's good. Because I think I just like destroyed my audio at one point, but I rescued it.
Teletor goes, great. Hold on. This is a message from Kathina. I couldn't get into your teleportation circle. Also, I'm a dark elf. Is there a reason why we couldn't teleport? It feels like that's legit.
You would have only got up to couldn't there. That was 25 words.
Yeah, he got the gist. Apparently you're grounded.
What?
Is that why the teleportation circle was closed, or are you now grounded because you're a dark elf?
I think it was the grounding happened before. I'm not sure. All he just said is Kathina's grounded, and that's it.
God, he's such a dick. Why? Why? What exactly did I do? Huh? Exactly. Nothing.
I don't know. I'm not a telephone, whatever that is.
Yeah, no.
Also not a telepath.
Or that.
I mean,
something.
Funnily enough, he is actually the group's telephone. Like,
speaking of,
still.
I was the taxi until we got the blimp, and now telephone.
Speaking of this thing that doesn't exist, I wondered if you could send a message for me as well, or try to.
Who do you want to talk to?
Orion of the Deep.
Oh, right. I've met her, yes. I can talk to her. What do you want to ask?
This is Liralair trying to contact any Orionids failed with Rye. Are you there?
That's a very existential question. Kelthar repeats the message. Yes, it's good to hear from you. I'm the only one left. Hell. That's it.
Shit. Which is a much worse swear word in Sylvan.
Yes. Well, whilst we're all here, or whilst you two are here at least, because I feel like this might be worth saying. I found some information about where this might have come from, or at least what's going on may have come from. It might be worth getting Cedric 2 and Leela down here, and possibly Franklin, so that we can tell everyone. And Asher, if she's around. Is Asher around? I've not
We'll
seen.
go and gather them.
If Asher's left and gone to the fucking capital again without telling anyone, I will be very disappointed. I will not be surprised, but I'll be disappointed.
I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
I'm an impulse player. What can I say?
We have no.
I think you're just an impulse, Connor. I don't think you need the second part of it. You are just impulse.
It might also be worth if we discuss this in one of our rooms. My room is the most comfortable.
Wherever you like.
Yeah, I was genuinely worried. He's like, I need to talk to you two, and he's looking at me and Lyra, and it's like, what's he thinking?
You gather everyone who is there, and you head up to Skathos' room. None of you have seen yet. And you walk in, and it's just velvet everywhere. It's shag pile carpets. It's soft furnishing. There's definitely something that looks like a chest of something.
It's a boggart.
It's a kinky boggart.
I don't judge.
And Kelatar is sat on the bed. In a normal position, he has gotten out of the habit of just sitting sort of, well, oh, right, this is a conversation. Right. So it seems to be that whoever it was that was finding the information went to this island called Skathos. And it's apparently the home of Medusa, the original Medusa, the one that slept with Poseidon on one of Athena's temples and got turned into the sneaky head lady. And yes, that is actual mythology, and it's fucked up.
Can you repeat that? Sorry? She slept with Poseidon.
Yeah, she slept
with might be a rather nice way of putting it.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought of whether it was consensual or not. And because the gods can't punish each other, Athena punished Medusa. And then when Medusa was killed by Perseus and cut off his head, that then produced Pegasus and someone else. I can't remember who the other one was.
Some golden bloke.
Sorry?
I said normal Friday night stuff.
Exactly. Was it the golden one?
It was a golden bloke of some sort. I can't remember what.
No, I don't remember either.
A golden bloke.
Yep. Well, anyway, not relevant, but it seems to be that that's where she lives now. And it seems to be they got the answer for everything that happened there on this island, Skathos. Apparently, there's a lot of people have gone out to seek that woman to get glory, like Perseus, being a great hero. Not many have returned, but they share their stories about those who were captured and lost. It's apparently described as a 3-mile snake-infested island, where the plant life becomes stone the deeper you delve into the forest. There are 3 rings that make up which sits on a. It's unclear whether it's dormant or extinct, but it's a volcano of some sort. The exterior ring has regular plant life, then the middle is petrified trees, and then the interior, everything is petrified, like all the creatures and plants and such. But there are some that say that it's somewhere between south and due east of Thearos. There are survivors that have washed up at all port and land submission. It's somewhere in that region. We're not sure how far, though. But I think this might be, if this is where he got the information, or they, the voices between, or whatever, got the law that created the visionaries as they are, she might know how to undo it.
Don't suppose it mentions there being a forge in that volcano.
Not the Hayfed, no.
Probably not the volcano.
She might know how to stop it.
Potentially, if she knows how.
Okay.
How it happens, she might be able to control it.
So we need to talk with this Medusa.
Yes.
We need to approach in such a way that we don't just get killed straight away.
That's my thinking, yes.
Did any of the survivors have an idea how they survived when others did not?
Well, some of the stories are saying that they knew not to look in her eyes because that can turn people to stone. Some say that they were almost dead and they were left alone. I suspect it might be something like, listen to the lore of this person that I let go, kind of thing, spreading the myth of herself a little bit more. Something like that.
It sounds like she likes people coming to her island. I don't know if it sounds like a very friendly place.
Well, that's entirely possible. She does like people coming. There is a rumor in here that she does have a throne made out of the petrified statues of people that she has captured.
Of course she does. Cool.
I mean, it sounds pretty awesome, to be honest. But the people have said that she holds herself like an artist, and she's very proud of her work. So she might, I don't know, she might be willing to trade the information for a sacrifice of some sort. Perhaps. Yeah. No, Ross would obviously would have done that in a heartbeat. Just like, I'll be back. I'll be right back.
Off you go. Go on.
We brought this beautiful girl for you.
I know you would, because I have.
Out of character, just going to point out, we do have a spare Cedric.
Ooh. Ooh.
Not little baby Cedric, no.
Yeah, 3-day-old Cedric.
3 days have gone by.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Probably a bit more, but
she can have old Cedric then. We'll keep new, barely used Cedric.
We'll keep the new model.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like a trade-in.
I see how it is.
So Action's coming back then, is he? Because that Cedric's going to die. Oh, Laura has to go do things. Bye, Laura.
Was that jazz hands?
I think it was just a wave. Jazz hands. So yeah, that's the situation. I suppose that depends on what option we want to go for. We could go and follow up Jublex's offer and follow this, then he just holds the slime that he has in a jar. We could follow this, and it would lead us to take out another one of the visionaries. Or we could go and find out something, or we could do something else entirely. I don't know. There might be other things that you all think we need to do.
Do we really want to make a move before Ash is here? I mean, I don't know if anyone else notices, but we kind of need Asher in a fight. She sits at the front and gets hit instead of us.
Bear with me, I'll find out where she is. Asher! Where the fuck are you?
I am.
He then casts sending and does exactly the same thing.
I am just outside the capital, getting some herbs to heal Cedric 2. I'm with Cedric and Noala.
He's in the plane. So she's going to be 2 days. As is Cedric. And you are that.
We could take the ship and meet them.
That would serve them right, I suppose. If we're just going for a conversation, it might be worth doing. I'm not sure if Lyra there has frozen or if Tom is just holding his pose. No, it's fine.
Tom is holding his pose perfectly.
Lyra, I feel like you've got some objections.
I mean, there's a lot of things we could do, but I guess the most pressing one was your friends, Lyra. There's only one of them left.
And if she used the word help, she wouldn't say that unless it was important. I'm wondering, I know you have knowledge of the teleportation circle at Prior Deep, but is there room next to our other castle to dock the ship there?
Wait, in Pariah Deep?
The ex-Jurgar castle.
Sorry, out of character. What castle?
We have a massive keep in the Underdark.
Yeah, the Pariah Deep one.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I asked, but then Tom said no, and so I thought he meant.
Well, it's not. It's just outside Pariah Deep.
The other side of the lake.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's like, yeah, next to it. So,
yeah, whatever.
My United States of whatever.
It's there.
I am just wondering, from what I could tell, do I think there would be room for the ship so we could dock somewhere by that?
No, there are too many stalactites. Stalactites, thank you. There are too many stalactites that hang down from that part of the cavern that would make it dangerous at best to put something there. And at worst would just straight up block the transportation.
I mean, we can use teleportation circle to get down there. It would just be getting back. We'd have to go to the capital, and I'm guessing we'd leave the ship here because it's safest here. But yeah, if we got to the capital, I'd probably have to. Oh no, we need to go to the capital first anyway. I only have enough components to do the spell one more time. Won't be able to get us down to Pariah Deep and back out again without another lot of the special inks.
So, could we take the ship to the capital, meet Asher and Co., get more supplies, and then go to Pariah Deep, wherever that is?
Yes, Foundling's never been there.
In there.
Foundling's never been there. It may have been a very passing visit, but I don't think Foundling's actually been there for any length of time.
Yeah, I don't think I've.
We don't talk about it so much, obviously. You know, you feel like you've been there. Does that sound good, Lyra?
Yeah. Although again, I'm also thinking about how long we might have for this offer from Jubilex and various other concerns we have now with this lead on the Gorgon.
Sounded as if Jubilex was stalemated. I don't think there's much time pressure there.
Yeah,
supposedly the Medusa, if they stay on their island, they'll be there when we go looking. As you say, your fellow Orionids is the only one actively asking for help.
Yes.
Let's go help.
Yes, let's go and pick up the others and get on our way.
Just to double check something, Kafina, did you not pick up another? You picked up a spell when you leveled up? Did you not?
Problem is, the thing I picked up was what do you call it? The dimension traveling spell.
Oh, you took plane shift. I thought you took teleport.
No, I took plane shift. Teleport would have been better because I could actually use that, unlike plane shift, which I can't.
Especially when all the planes are all on our plane now.
They're all hits.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I thought you took teleport. Never mind.
Nope. Made the wrong choice. Although maybe I'm lucky. Maybe there'll be some of those tuning forks in the capital.
Did you only take it this level? Put plane shift. No, it's 7 level. Never mind. Carry on.
Yeah, I only just unlocked level 7 spells.
Carry on with your day.
Right.
So,
Okay, hold on. I'll send Asha a message and tell her to turn around to go back to the city. Asha, we're coming to you. Go back into the city. We'll be with you shortly.
We've got all of the stuff that we need, don't we?
Yeah, you do. Yes, you already picked it up.
Yeah. We just need to spend some time in Fee's workshop to pull it off.
Yeah. Are you going to take Cedric 2 with you?
Not on 2 hit points, I would say, but that's not my choice.
You're not there.
Maybe we should ask Cedric too if he wants to come or if he feels he should stay. I don't know.
what do you think, Cedric, too?
He's just been standing there the whole time so quietly in the corner.
I think that I should probably stay. I can help Orion sort out the refugees and make sure they're well looked after.
Good idea.
I'm a little bit busted.
Very well
Bye.
know your limitations.
It is. Okay, bye.
Simulacrum, know your limits. Sorry, Benny Hill reference. Wait, Benny? No. Harry Enfield.
Anyway.
We head back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess me, Lyra, Foundling, and Leela all get on the airship and teleport to fair. I mean, I don't know. Lyra, do you think we should try and go in fairly high above so we don't cause too much of a freak out too quickly?
Did Leela not put the cover back on the airship?
She did.
She did.
Well,
She did spend like 2 days repairing it.
That's what she was spending this day doing, so she's probably still doing that. So it's probably not quite finished yet.
If he gives her a hand, can we double time it?
I mean, it was kind of a thing that she was doing over the course of the day, whilst everyone else was doing their various other things. Like you were doing your tinkering and such. So we're probably close to the end of the day anyway.
Might as well just do it tomorrow.
Just let her finish the work and then teleport tomorrow.
I mean, I'm okay with that if that's what you guys want.
No point rushing things when we have the time.
I keep hearing this voice. I just don't know where it's coming from.
I'm talking to Cedric.
Yes, I agree. We should be patient.
Yes,
But then
indeed.
again, maybe I wish the rest of the party would hurry up and get here.
They are taking their time. I mean, we did just spend a lot of time taking our time picking the right secret flavors and herbs and spices to heal
Nice.
Cedric too. But you know,
Why would you make him tastier? That's just going to make the enemies want to like eat him, and you know.
if they eat him, they're not eating the actual Cedric.
Yeah, that's a very bland flavour of his actual Cedric. It's all mushroom but no seasoning.
Ooh, get some garlic while you're at it.
Cedric, grow some garlic on yourself. ward off the vampires. So whilst everyone else is sort of preparing their evening, Asher and Cedric, are you two doing anything overnight before everyone turns up?
I will read more of my. I mean, we're going to get really drunk. No, I'll read more of my book, please.
I think you could probably finish that off. You didn't have much.
I have 4 hours left.
You could finish that off today.
Booyah!
Which
Yes.
what you? Is that your strength?
That is my strength, yes.
Oh, Asher, have you given back the?
Yes.
Oh, right.
I've de-equipped it anyway.
I can swing my axe harder now.
There you go. You have your mother's embrace as well.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Can other people who read books read a book?
Yes, you so choose.
For 4 hours, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to try and convene with Odin.
Okay. Do you go to the temple of Odin? Or
While I'm here, I might as well go for the strongest connection.
you wander off to the temple of Odin. You take a seat and you sort of meditate for a moment.
How many bars do you get on your prayer signal?
Hopefully more than Laura.
Make a religion check.
Religio. It's not perfect, but it's nearly perfect.
1.
72.
Oh, yeah, because I respect. Sweet, 26.
26. Okay. What are you asking?
I'm literally checking up on Odin's well-being because of everything that's all going on. This is literally a health checkup, and I'm not actually wanting anything this time.
So this is
I'm just there to see if he's okay.
So this is oh, hey God, are you there? It's Asher. Kind of thing.
Just
What
here
are you
for,
wearing right now?
Yeah.
at this exact moment.
You sort of sit there for a while and meditate and pray to the statue. And your eyes sort of drift open, look up at the statue again, and you can see that there are 2 ravens sat upon it, one either side, or one either shoulder.
I think this is a strong and good connection.
The interpretation that you get from that is that everything is in balance. There's nothing wrong, no ill omens.
Fantastic. This is the response I wanted. It means that we're on the right course. I'm saying this out loud in a temple. We're on the right course.
Are you for what? One of the young pages is sort of just sweeping.
I don't respond.
Go back to sweeping.
I don't know, what can we try to do to provoke a reaction?
From Odin or from the sweeper?
Both. I will ask, said Raven, do we, because I know of the Medusa as such, I just don't know that they've just spoke about it. So more of a question of, do we go to the Medusa or do we carry on killing visionaries? In your opinion?
What, you say this out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. The ravens don't say anything. They just sort of sit there and peck at the statue a little bit.
They say, we're ravens, you idiot.
Yeah, we're ravens. We don't give a fuck. Okay. The page just sort of sweeps past and goes, I don't know what that means.
Honestly, are you aware of anything that's going on in the world right now?
No, not really.
Maybe you should leave the temple and, research a little. I'm kind of a big deal.
Are you? Because from where I'm standing, you're just a human that's turned up to pray.
Exactly.
Okay.
Don't you know who I am?
Goes off to sweeping.
Oh, I'm not gonna pop that Karen quote.
Sweeps a little bit more and just sort of wanders off.
feel like All Father is happy. So we'll go on with my day.
Okay.
We got a response, which is that's what we want.
All right. You return to where Nuala's home, where Cedric is sat comfortably on the giant moose, reading. And as you read, you can see his muscle getting a little bit bigger.
This is the heaviest book you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm not even reading. I'm just literally like.
Bicep curls. He stands up, starts doing like kettlebell swings with it.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else that you want to do of this evening, we skip ahead to the next day. Spells are restored. Anyone who wants to change spells can. Anyone that can change spells can. But next morning, you are free to do as you wish. So, who's doing what now?
The capital?
Yes. So we take the airship to the capital.
Okay. Who is going to take control of it? Presumably Leela and Kavatar, because why not? So, intelligence saves for you, Laura.
Crit.
Okay, you're fine. Managed to take the ship. How are you doing? Are you teleporting and then teleporting there? Or are you just flying?
I mean, it looks like a blimp now, right?
Mm-hmm. Airship, yes.
Yeah, airship, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, mentally communicate with the other two. Like, where do we think we should land? Like, on top or out of the side and, like, fly in, maybe?
You know that the city does have a big warding dome over the top of it.
Ah, yeah. So, yes, outside then. Just a short distance outside and then fly closer up to the barrier and then land, I guess.
Okay.
Don't know if everyone else is mentally nodding with me, but
they're not here, so
yeah,
I'm not going to make that decision for you.
Yeah, no, that's what we'll do.
All right, you take the ship into the astral plane and then return back to the material. Landing outside and sort of getting your permission slips to get inside. You're well recognised by this point, Lyra there in particular, and you all make your way into the plane.
I can fly now in here, can't I?
Yeah. However, it is very uncomfortable for you.
It's blinding.
It is blinding because it is
yeah.
constantly, even with the glasses that Leela has made for you.
Oh, yeah.
And they do look at you with some disconsolation as you walk through.
I vouch for her.
Yeah, they recognise enough of you to sort of let you go through. They're just a little, they just look intrigued.
I'm her younger sister. Yeah.
Just going through a goth phase.
Yeah.
They sort of shrug it off as Lyra sort of, I know the king, let us through, kind of thing.
You don't need to see her identification.
Oh, she knows the king, all right.
Not yet. Yet.
And the sassiness has summoned Laura.
I do.
Sorry, what's happening?
Someone
you
was
were-
sassy
you were-
when you appeared.
Yeah, just coloured
Word.
things, I'll say.
You have now all teleported to the Blaine, and you meet up with the rest of your party.
Hi.
Ooh.
Hello.
Anyway,
Do we have a plan?
Yes. We need to get some more components for your spell, don't we, Fee?
yeah, we're going to be going down to Pride Deep to help out the Orionids, if you guys are all good with that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, who needs help down there? Why?
He sent a message to Orion of the Deep. She says she's the only one left, and she asked for help.
The only one of the Orionids, or the only leader?
I don't know exactly. 25 words doesn't convey a lot of detail.
Yeah. I get that.
But either way,
But
it's bad.
I did see them fighting all the way up in the mountain range, wasn't it? That I saw them fighting.
Berzazai, yes. That's where. Well, that was where the
Original breakout. I saw Orionids fighting
that's where
there.
the headquarters of the Orionids is, the major headquarters.
It looks like they lost. Okay, yeah, no, definitely. If someone's asked for our help, then of course we should always respond.
And we've got
That should take our priority, really.
yes.
But yeah, we realize
Okay.
the blimp probably won't get there, so we need to use teleportation circle to get to our keep. But I didn't have the components for it, so I just need to do some quick shopping before we go.
Do we know it's somewhat safe down there, or are we expecting battle immediately?
I think we might expect battle immediately, given better to prepare for that anyway.
No, that makes perfect sense. Just like to know what I'm walking into.
It takes quite a bit of my magic, but I am able to cast a divination spell to at least get some idea of.
We could just ask the Loxodon, the healer down there. He seemed to be the leader.
Patron Bile.
Matron Boyle.
Pay.
Matron. I mean, he was more of a matron to us.
He's not a permanent resident, is he?
No.
We first met him
He's
in,
not.
The contrivance, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
He
follow
frequents,
him.
but he doesn't live there.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't go wasting any sort of powerful magic. I mean, we're going to go, and there aren't many forces that we can't handle on our own. So we've proven that on various occasions.
Yeah, maybe not many you can't handle. They're all just kind of sitting around and lucky to be alive.
Strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I don't get out without the rest of the team. You guys keep me alive.
Sorry, just out of character thinking to the one time you went rogue and you died instantly. So
Exactly. You guys keep me alive.
Speaking of teamwork, it occurs to me that an added bonus of coming here is that the king may be willing to post guards on the ship to protect it when we come back.
that would save us time in trying to get back to the keep afterwards. Our keep, the one up top. We need two different names now. We own two keeps.
Yeah, one's Nebula Keep, one's Emperor Deep.
Okay.
I named it.
Yes, yes, you did.
Just then.
I did. I specifically remember saying, yes, I like that name.
Anyway.
So we need to find somewhere to get the necessary components, don't we?
Yeah. There is a
I've got the stuff here before, so
there is a components storehouse here.
would I know if that place or any of the other magic places? Because I think I've visited like 2 or 3 since in the times I've been here. Would I know any of them that might have those dimension tuning forks?
You weren't looking for them last time, so you probably
No, I never was, but I mean, just of the places I've been to, might I have noticed them?
You probably wouldn't have noticed them because you weren't looking for them. And you know, if you're going into a store of magical mismatch and whatever it is, very unlikely to have noticed a tuning fork just sitting on his own.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll go to wherever the components are, and I'll ask them there. But if they don't have it, I won't bother because time is of the essence. So
You make your way to the magic components storehouse. Relatively young elf who's there to serve you. Yes, what can I get you?
I would like 10 lots of the inks for casting teleportation circle.
Right.
Ink, it's crushed gems, isn't it?
They're crushed into the ink. It's ink made out of gems and rare oils and stuff like that.
Weird.
Chalks and inks infused with precious gems. Teleportation circle, you say? Very well, madam. Reaches under. How many?
10. Saves me just restocking.
I have 6.
Say what?
I have 6, I'm afraid.
Oh, that'll do. That's good. Thank you.
Slide them across you. That's 300 gold.
Yeah, easy done. I'll just drop down 30 platinum.
Thank you.
Do you have tuning forks for the plane shift spell?
We have some which are linked for this plane. We have also for the Feywilds. That's all.
That's great. I'll take one of each.
That will be 500 gold then, please.
All right. I place down 50 platinum.
There you go. And slide over 2 fault metal rods.
Woo. All right.
Any healing potions while we're here?
We do have a few. We have 17 of the regular, 12 of the greater, and 3 superior.
We'll take all of them.
Well,
I didn't even hear the numbers. I just know I want all of them.
Whoa. Both of you spoke at the same time. Jared.
I just said I didn't hear the numbers. I just said I just know I want all of them. Sorry, Connor.
Said Fee is literally like Harry Potter on the Hogwarts Express. I'll take the lot. Just keeps throwing money on the table.
Yep.
I don't care if anyone else wants any. I'm having them all.
I feel stupid. I was going around throwing 100 piles of 100 and 1,000 platinum at just people that gave us minor help, and I'm like, man, I should really be buying shit instead of just like making people happy.
I blew my fortune on something that like rarely gets used. I'm so happy it's there. There are bits of it that aren't even finished being made yet.
Well, if you need financial backing,
I've paid for it up front.
Also, so the stuff that isn't built is paid for. Yeah, okay.
That's another 6,850 gold pieces, please.
All right. 680,000 was it?
6,850.
850. So I placed down 685 platinum.
Thank you. Takes it, slides a chest of potions across to you.
Yeah, nice. So I genuinely did miss the numbers because I was filling in my equipment.
It was 17 regular, wasn't it?
17 regular, 12 greater, and 3 superior.
And we've got several people with us now.
I mean, you guys plus Carter and Cruz.
So yeah, 9.
It's 8 of you.
8. All right, cool. So Asher, Cedric, is anyone? Oh, and Foundling, the 3 graders, a grader each. Sorry, because you guys usually get up the front. So I think
you mean the superiors.
Superiors, yes, that's what I meant.
Not the superior.
And then it was 13 graders and 17 regulars, I think. So
12 graders.
12 graders, sorry. So I'll dish those out 2 apiece. First to the so 2 to Asher, 2 to Cedric, 2 to Foundling, 2 to Lyra.
Of what is
This
this?
is greater, isn't it?
Raider. And then 1 for me, 1 for Leela, and 1 for Kelatar.
Cruise?
Oh, did I miss Cruz? Cruz can have my one. Right, and the
Potion of
right,
greater healing.
yeah, and sorry, yeah. So both Cruz and Kelatar got 1 potion of greater healing each, I believe. And then I'll do something similar again. 2 regulars for Asher, 2 regulars for Cedric.
I'll save you some time here. There's 17 of them. You could do 2 to each person left over.
Yep, so I'll do that, and I'll take the extra 1 for myself.
Okay.
Cool.
So everyone get at least 1. So Leela, you get a greater and 2 regular healing potions.
Sorry about that, guys, but yeah.
For expediency's sake.
I don't have any paper in front of me right now, so writing out numbers just not going to work.
Sorry, how many?
1 greater healing
2
potion,
regular.
2 regular healing. All right, potion purchased. Now what?
I'm done with my shopping. Does anyone else need to buy anything before we go?
I don't need to buy anything. Did you want to ask about getting guards for the ship?
Yes. We'll head up to the castle quickly to. It's also good to let someone know what we're doing, what we're attempting.
Okay. As you sort of walk up to the gates, the guards stop you for a second. State your business, please.
I'm wishing to speak to the king.
He's not in residence at the moment. Might we assist you?
I'm sorry to hear that. You know who we are, I take it?
Most of you, but yes.
Yes. We have a transport belonging to us. We left it outside the city. And we were wondering if it would be possible for some guards to be posted to it.
Make a persuasion check.
This will go well. 18. Actually, did go
very well.
You can probably spare a couple of the city watch to go and keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't go away.
It is a flying ship. As well to keep it under guard.
Very well. We'll send a couple of people to go and have a look for it and go watch it.
Maybe I kind of try and whisper that maybe we should pay these people to look after our stuff.
Do you need any remuneration to compensate you for that?
No, we're just going to make the city watch do it, so it's fine.
I understand if it's not possible, but are you able to tell me where the king is at the moment?
He looks over to the person standing next to him and just shrugs. He's currently overseeing the reconstruction in Consalva.
I see.
Went there this morning.
Right.
Isn't that where we just came from?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Does it? I did think.
Do you need a message left for him, or?
Let me write something. I will. Do I have any paper? I have a book. I'll tear a blank page.
I have some paper that you can use.
Oh no!
I take out my little blue book and just there you go.
As you tear it out, you just see it says on the page. Ah!
Do you know what? We haven't even heard about that book for like months. I
And
swear.
you won't for a couple of months more.
I'm surprised you haven't just gone, let's go to the plane where the plane of fire's coming through so I could just sew this in.
It just keeps coming back.
I feel a bit weird writing on this now, but
You don't know what it is.
It says "ah" on it.
I remember we tried this. No one else could read
No.
could see anything.
I will try and write on this page.
You write on the page. Ink transfers. You can write it.
Works normally.
Yeah.
Right, I will write a message to Drenalis, just telling him where we're going, and that hopefully we'll be back in a few days' time.
Okay, Asher, make a perception check.
20.
On the back of the page, whilst Lyra is writing, you do see that words appear on the other side that just say, "So you're not speaking to me now, then?"
I've put the book away.
And it just sort of follows up with ... Fuck you. Okay, let me know what the yeah, you said what that is, so that is handed over to the guards, sealed. I mean, keep it safe for you.
Thank you.
Of course, I hope.
Hopefully we'll be back before too long.
Very well.
Right, Fee. Where should we do this?
Anywhere's fine. I just need a 10 by 10 sort of space.
Probably not right here. I'm sure these if people would prefer if we didn't do that.
We would rather if there wasn't any arcane trickery right at the front of the palace. I'd set the wrong.
Let's find a quiet spot out of the way.
Sounds good.
Okay. You cast the teleportation circle, setting the sigil for the Pariah Deep Guild Hall of the Orionids. So that's what the teleportation circle is, not your keep.
Oh, right, yeah.
But the teleportation circle activates. You step through it.
Before I step through, I am going to pop out my extra arms and go through with weapons drawn.
You're going through armed.
Did Noala come with, or did she stay behind?
She has stayed behind.
Okay.
But you walk through the teleportation circle and appear in the somewhat familiar, for some of you, Guild Hall for the Orionids. So for Leela and family, it's an unusual experience for you. You step into, you kind of, like Connor showed in that picture, where you've got all the various heads on walls and various different trophies that have been captured over the years, except they are some hideous creatures. There's a head of an Umber Hulk that's been bronzed. There's some very weird, deformed-looking creatures that have existed down in the Underdark that people have claimed and set up at various points. And there is one person who is sat in the centre of the room on one of the sofas, smoking a gouloir, just dark-skinned, similar to Kafina, only a little bit lighter, and slightly shorter in the ears, and sort of white hair that's tied back into the ponytail, which you recognise as Orion of the Deep. She turns and sees you coming. Ah, good. I was wondering when you would turn up.
Sorry, we had to make some preparations before we could get here.
Can I get a very quick read of the room? Is this a trap?
Make a perception check.
A trap.
Okay. 29.
I will message. Oh no, I can't message you on the chat. I will send you a text.
Okay. We're in trouble, guys.
No, the room is it's Spartan, as it always usually is down here, and the bar is empty. But it's just Orion here. That
Oh, I hope that's not why they said help, just because they've run out of booze.
I'm the only one left with this bottle of whiskey.
I fought everyone else for it.
She says then, she says, "They're it's a dark day as far as we are concerned. Well, it has been a dark couple of weeks anyway."
Any particular reason other than, the world-ending thing?
We are the two highest ranking Orionids left.
I was afraid you might say that.
We have lost the Orion's door at the top of the Guy's Desire. And I've sent out a call through the Hunt Network to get any remaining Orionids back down here. It's only maybe 20 acolytes. I don't know what to do, to be honest.
Welcome to the club.
Does there seem to be danger down here, or are you calling them here because this seems safe and a sanctuary?
Safer for, well, most people. It seems to be that the guild halls were crushed when the plains were torn open, but no one really knows what anything's down here, so we're relatively safe.
I start sheathing my weapons.
Well, to bring you somewhat up to date,
Please.
We've been in Fearos for the last few days. We've faced two of the visionaries and prevailed. But Solrisa is still under a giant bubble of water. South Peak is almost unrecognizable. And our next lead, as far as going for another one, involves making a deal with a demon lord ooze, I think is.
Duplex?
Yeah, that's the one. When they when Zygotmi came through to Abylos, it pulled Jubilex through as well.
I don't know what. I might be able to help you some assistance with demon law, but beyond that, I don't know what to do. There's a succession plan, yes, but if an Orion falls, but I was 8th. If an Orion of the sea was above me. Yes, that guy in charge of everyone, that would have been a hell of a thing.
It would have been something. I will miss him very much. We have one other lead. A lead pointing us to the original Medusa, who we believe might know how the encroachment of the elemental planes might be slowed and stopped.
Right.
But just trying to approach her is going to be very difficult indeed.
I can only suggest getting guidance from the goddess, or at least following this hunt of yours, this individual. You've had many acolytes try and claim the scalp of our Medusa, let alone the Medusa.
But this is not, we're not trying to kill her. We're not trying to...
No. What I'm saying is that many have gone and not many have returned. They've gone with the intention to kill. Maybe you'll have better luck. I don't know, but I'm trying not to undersell danger.
I've been afraid to try and pray to the goddess. I didn't visit her shrine even though we were not far off a while ago. Maybe
Artemis doesn't concern herself with those. It's not her worship. Her worship is the hunt, is doing right, protection of innocence.
I know. Cedric.
Yes.
Maybe we need to have some prayer time.
Agreed. Maybe we got some help before. Maybe there will be some more answers now.
Oh.
I think we just lost Laura.
No, she's still here.
She's back.
Sorry. Carry on.
Leela died.
Just trying to cut the tension.
What did I miss?
Leela's died.
Yeah.
I leave you with her for 2 seconds.
That's as long as it takes sometimes.
Reach.
Right. So there's nothing immediately threatening Pariah Deep.
No, we're just wary of the Drow Citadel. Not far from here. They've been making moves to get to the surface.
I mean, we have someone here who might be able to get in and find out what they're up to. Looking at Kavina.
I would not recommend taking an outsider into their city. They would notice immediately.
Yeah, I also can't speak their language. If they have one, I'm not sure. They're going to think it's weird if I walk up and start speaking.
I say in Underdog, you don't speak Undercommon?
I understand.
I don't think she does.
No.
In Undercommon.
Also, you are I'd switch back to Common and say, sorry, Fee, you're much too nice to be a drow.
Oh, are they usually bad? We've seen some around down here before. I just thought it wasn't a very common type of elf.
Most drow who live...
Orion does sort of tap and just sort of give you a look. She is half drow.
I know. Most drow who actually live in their societies are deeply unpleasant, very aggressive. failure, any kind of weakness is absolutely intolerable.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense if it's a culture thing. Okay. Well, now those looks that I was getting just before we came here make sense. Well, at least I'll keep that in mind. Not really much I can do about it now, but yeah, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. How pressing? How much weight do we feel this holds compared to? I mean, it seemed more urgent before we came here, but I don't know.
Sorry, what are you referring to?
Well, I mean, are we?
Fixing this.
Yeah, fixing this are we prioritizing this now? We were before when we thought people were in imminent danger, but no one's in imminent danger, so shall we switch to a different one of the other things we have to do?
I'd say to track down the Medusa now. That's the
I'm
next best
inclined to agree. But we'll try and get some guidance from Artemis first. So,
There's a shrine here if you wish to.
thank you.
Yes, please.
I remember.
Is there a shrine to Athena?
No, there isn't.
Hephaestus?
Ish. There's a scrapper yards that you could go to.
Fair enough.
There's a mild statue to him.
Oh, might as well.
Right, and find the shrine.
Okay, find the shrine.
I've met the goddess several times, but my prayers to her don't often have very good results.
Maybe you just need to think extra hard.
When you talk to her, how do you usually talk to her?
Usually I open my mouth and say
No,
words, and then she hears them, and then she responds.
I was actually asking Lyra. Lyra,
Oh.
in what way do you express yourself? I think some of that's important because the only two times my God's spoken to me is when I've been in the middle of working on this. So it might be more to do with how you feel, what you're doing, your mental state. I don't know. Just trying to help. I don't know well. And Cedric makes it sound easy, which I don't think it is. So
I think you can only really speak to a god if you're somewhat blessed.
2 of the times I've spoken to my goddess have been at the lowest points, when I'm my most defeated. I'm not sure that's helpful just now, though.
Surely you're not asking us to beat you up.
We'll call that Plan H.
maybe just walk it back a bit and just like a light slap and a spit on you, you know.
I think, thinking back, usually when I am able to speak with them, it's when I am most hopeful.
Hopeful. Can always give it a try. Oh, right.
How are you setting up for this? Are you casting any spells? What are you doing?
I am going to, I don't know if you can stealth guidance, but I'll stealth guidance Lyra because I want her to have a wonderful experience.
I'm going to take the hunter's prospect off my head and sort of hold it in my hands instead. My sort of physical link.
Okay.
I will. Are you kneeling? You standing, Lyra?
I'll kneel.
I will kneel next to her, and I will hold Genesis with the blade down. You know, like leaning on the what's the hilt? I don't know if that's the right word.
Heart, I think is the word.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Kneeling next.
Okay. Make a religion check, Lyra, with advantage and with a d4. And what are you asking, Artemis?
I'm asking.
We hadn't got to this point yet, Luke. We planned up to this point.
Is seeking Medusa the correct path? And how might we approach her?
Okay. Make a religion check with advantage. And the d4.
And a d4. That's 19.
19. Okay. You sit and you contemplate the prayer. And you feel a light breeze just sort of sweep past the back of your neck. This is not Cedric breathing on you.
Because it doesn't smell of mushrooms.
I miss being a trickster.
I know. Next campaign, though.
Yeah.
There is a smell of wild, of grass and leaves and such that you don't get down here in Briardeep. Briardeep is far too deep and cavernous for you to get any sort of fresh coming through. The interpretation that you get from this is that a hunt is a challenge, and to complete a hunt is not always to kill. The right path doesn't necessarily appear obvious at the first instance, but when you find your prey, then you can reflect.
Right. Thank you, Cedric.
I presume it worked then.
I mean, I didn't hear a voice literally speak in my mind or anything, but I think she made her opinions known.
Some of us need things explained more simply, like myself. Other people, obviously, they like to set a challenge.
Challenge. Yes, I think this will be one. Apart from anything else, we need to find her.
And that's where we'll take a break.
It's so funny. I nearly joked about and Fade to Black after he said, yes, this will be a challenge. It was the perfect movie moment of like it going, reappearing, and then we're like marching towards the Medusa.
Yeah. So, yes, we'll take our break there. We'll come back in 15 minutes where we'll pick up from there, and hopefully Laura will have got something warmer.
So cold.
Yeah, I was going to say, Connor's basically in bed now.
I am. I can just lay down.
I mean, Ross, it's obviously so warm in Ross's place because he's got his growing that have, in the last 2 weeks, have now materialized.
I bought these new babies, and they're such a good purchase. We're still live, by the way. But they usually, to get a plant like this, you're looking at like 40 to 70 pounds. This one as well, and I got these for 15 pounds each. So,
How easy are those to knock over?
I mean, if I like.
I'm just wondering because for the first year you won't have much to worry about. After that,
Oh yeah, no, yes,
yeah, it gets
one's
so
going
fun.
like behind the TV and stuff. They're going to be tucked out the way. It's all right.
Yeah.
Well, so
You should just
glue
glue everything down.
Screw them down to the.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we'll be back in
Yes.
15 minutes. See you very shortly. And we are back. So, with that exit line, what are you doing?
Right. We'll rejoin all the others, so we're all in the same place.
Yes.
That's a good
Sounds like
start.
I had a quick meditation pray while they were praying.
Okay. Anything in particular they were praying for?
Just sort of gonna give this a try. Do a rest. Any guidance or any aid would be appreciated, but gonna do it anyway.
Make a religion check.
But much more eloquently expressed than that.
Yeah.
What are you praying for? Riches and money.
Peace on earth.
We've got plenty of money.
Ooh, 23.
You sit down for a moment and you just hear in the back of your mind, kill that bitch. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Well, I've got a mission from God.
No.
No. You get the sense that Athena might have a problem with Medusa still.
We get there and we convince her to start talking. She's like, "Here's everything I know," and immediately shot her neck. Yeah, snaps her neck. Yeah.
No. The interpretation that you get from that family is that she
Kill
still
that
has some
bitch.
issue. You still has some issues with Medusa. If it's a situation where violence is necessary, kill that bitch. But if a peaceful resolution is going on, tactically, don't kill that bitch.
Oh, good. I'm glad there was a don't kill that bitch.
Yes, I understand.
Foundling, I'm telling you, don't.
Yeah. Consider all the tactical implications first.
No.
Oh, so
Yes, Foundling is having their meditation. The rest of you return.
right.
Prepared.
Oh, hi, Matt. Just realised you're there.
He is very unnoticeable.
I walked in and heard a conversation and thought, what's going on here? Sat down and said to Luke, "Are we in the game?" He was like, "No, we're in the break." "Oh, that's all right then."
Kelatar was making an ass of himself before, just going around the house with like his junk covered in mayonnaise. No idea why. We were like, "Luke, what's up?" And he's like, "I swear, Matt told me to do this."
To be fair, that's a Kalatar on a Wednesday. That's
Okay,
just.
well, to be honest, even if that had happened,
We would have just gone with it.
I would just it would be like, yeah, fair enough.
Fulmar is not here, by the way. Ooh. Mostly because you knew that you were going to one of the Orionid guild halls, which is where you currently are.
Right.
Probably not a good idea to take a black dragon down there.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay.
So he is currently left behind in the keep.
Okay.
With Cedric II and Ulrion.
Cedric the Two.
Cedric the Two. Hit points.
Aw.
And spell slots.
Yeah. That aren't at least, his high level spell slots. So, what are you doing?
Right. We need to try and find this island, this semi-petrified island you talked about, Kelatar?
Yes. I remember speaking about it very clearly.
And we have a rough idea of where it is. really quite a rough idea.
Do I have any idea where it might be?
Yeah, it's anywhere between due east and due south of Fiaros.
Sweet.
We actually.
And people who came back came to places, I've forgotten their names, on the sort of south coast, east of Guys.
Oldport or Land Submission. They are two locations that are pretty much south of the Jungle of Rancor.
Yeah.
Actually, after learning the same spell the ship can use, I know that we don't actually have to know the place implicitly. We might not get right where we want, but if we can visualize it and describe it well enough, we should be able to get close.
Correction there. The ship does require you to have been there. The plane shift spell might say a vague approximation will do, but the ship itself has its own method of interplanar travel.
Okay, sorry.
Plane shift spell.
Sorry, all right. Yeah, because I noticed it when I read this. I was like, there's zero requirement that you actually ever been to the place. You can just specify a place.
Correct. But you would also have to be plane shifting from a different plane of existence.
Yeah, you can't plane shift to the same plane you're already on.
Yeah, no, I get that. We'd have to pay, sadly, the ship would have to get left somewhere for us to pull this off, because I can only do plane shift once a day.
You can't presumably take the ship with you.
No, it's 8-wheeling creatures when I do it. The ship obviously functions differently. That's a shame. I was hoping that was a way to kind of circumvent actually finding the actual location.
It is. There is a way of doing it. It's still a viable option. You just have to.
I mean, didn't you say you had a form of divination magic?
I do. Yeah, I could possibly use it. It's more about events in the future, but then again, I used it once to figure out where you had disappeared to, Asher, by just asking where will you be in 5 minutes. And that helped a lot, actually. It told us exactly where you were. So I guess we could actually just ask, where will the Medusa be for the next few weeks? And we should get a solid. I mean, apparently she never leaves this place, so I don't see why it wouldn't be there. Single place. I don't know.
I just wonder if the answer you might get is on her island.
Yeah.
You might not get. Also, if we must somehow get that spell to work, if you get close to an island, you're in the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
That's not a problem for me, but that may be a problem for some of the others.
I still have.
I excel at sinking, so
Wait, no, I don't. Wait, sorry, I used the boat token, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
No, you never actually used it. You were going to, but then you swam instead.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, technically I have the boat token, so.
Good thing we didn't use it before.
Yeah, that's right. We spent ages talking about it and what we would do once we used it. We're like, nah, fuck it.
We've got a vague direction. We don't have any idea of distance.
No.
No stories about how long sailors took to get there or get back.
The notes that Kalthar read varied in terms of the distance that some people said. Some say that they travelled for 2 or 3 days. Some say that it took them a week or more. One said that he had sailed for a month before he
Right.
it.
Anyone got a map?
I mean, we have a map of Fiaros, but not a world map.
Maybe something that the only and last standing Orionid might have.
That's true. although I've mentioned the Medusa to her, she didn't say that there was anything.
No, but Kelatar knows the name of the island. Maybe he's been there before, don't you, Kelatar?
Yes, of course I do.
Two things. First of all, the Orion is she. And when you mentioned Skathos, she was not forthcoming with a location, and did not seem to know where this island was.
Fair.
Oh, she might have some advice on how to find it, but
We could also do what I was originally planning when I had to find a location somewhere on the material plane. We could just go to the Ark. Now that we're all together, we could probably do a lot more research. I just can't get there with the teleportation circle. My younger sister's father is being a dick.
What would you hope to gain from going to the Ark?
Well, it's got like a massive library. I mean, if we're going to look for knowledge, it's a good place. I mean, that was my first option. My second option was the capital where we picked you up, because I would imagine there's a decent library there too. There were some decent magic shops when I was there, so yeah. I don't know. It's up to everyone else. I mean, we're here. We might as well ask. But
research and travel and that sort of stuff is beyond my capabilities. I defer to the actual magic users of the group for that. I am here to hit things.
My suggestion would have been to go back to the ship, take it to the area, and just do an aerial search. We could see like a bird and find the island hopefully fairly quickly.
We had an option that I could take the spell Commune with Nature, which might give us some info, but I think it only works within 3 miles.
Will that communicate with plants or animals?
I just become aware of all surrounding territory. Terrain, bodies of water, prevalent plants, minerals, animals or peoples, powerful celestials, fae, fiends or elementals or undead, influence from other planes of existence and buildings within 3 miles of me.
Okay, sorry. The name of the spell made it sound like you were actually going to talk with someone.
I mean, I could also ask animals to go and search for us too.
Well, I mean, if we know any migratory birds in the area, those that migrate across the ocean, you could ask them. Maybe they fly over an island that is very stone, even with the plants.
I would.
It's worth pointing out that Fioros, you would know, is on the equator. So it is less likely to have migratory birds.
Sure,
Also,
we all knew that.
Also, the ground and there aren't any birds here.
Well, that is the second problem.
All I'm hearing is, Luke, is problem. Give us some answers, boy.
That's literally not my job. I give you the problem, you solve it.
Yeah, Leela's meant to be intelligent.
Yeah, Laura.
Yeah.
Try contributing to the solution.
Got you there.
You just write that on text. You just go, nah. No. Just give me problem. I'm not hearing a solution.
Yeah, that's hilarious. You're just like, what with all these problems?
What we've discovered is Luke only has enough content for one more session, and he's just trying to stall it by being like, oh no, you couldn't do that. Oh no.
He's not expecting us to get to this island yet.
And everyone else, cover your ears for a second. Ross, don't give away the DM secret.
Sorry.
We all swore in the Dungeon Master's Guide that we would never share these secrets.
I've gone rogue.
Oh no, it involved reading the DMG.
No one does that.
No.
I still haven't started yet, so don't worry.
One person will read it.
I read it.
Where are you looking for that?
I was looking for Laura, who's on my screen.
Directly below you on mine.
You're right next to me, so like you're this side.
I mean, you doing that is above Gary on my screen.
Yeah, I know.
so-
Well, it's above you on mine, so I mean, to be fair. Anyway,
You don't need to look at me on a camera.
yeah, I know exactly. Rage at everyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Derail thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I could also maybe ask some non-migratory birds to help us out.
I mean, it sounds like we've got a few options. Let's just go with the quickest and easiest one, which is asking our Arachnid friend.
That
Sorry,
makes sense.
I just love the idea of Cedric just going up to a chicken and just being like, you know where the island is.
Can you help us, please?
That's what he thinks.
The chicken returns like 20 years later, and it's like, I found the island.
And it's a level 20 chicken. He's been on this epic quest to find the
Chicken
island.
race.
Don't kick it!
It's got a sword, a shield, and kind of head of a dude who just goes,
I was expecting it more like he asked the chicken, and the chicken's like, grain? Eggs? Grain? Just, that's all they do.
The most logical way of finding out where an island is to ask sailors. I think we should go either to Oldport or to Land Submission and Shenmue this shit.
I
As
don't know
in,
that. I don't know that word. Is that some kind of martial art?
Sort
As a
of,
captain
yeah.
myself, I do agree with this statement.
yes! It's been so long. It's so long.
Can everyone who doesn't know this or doesn't know this piece of information do an insight to see how believable this captain story is?
Yeah, can I do one?
Leela, make an insight check.
Yeah, I don't think Foundling knows either.
I want.
Do they get advantage for all the people that know that are covering their
Grimace.
face and shaking their heads? Like, yeah.
Stanley and Leela, make insight checks.
Oh.
Asher, roll a deception check.
25.
I am a captain.
You were
By
trained
name.
captain. You don't count.
Oh, god damn it,
18.
Foundling. 23.
You believe that Asher is a captain. Foundling. This is something that she believes. That's all you get from that. The rest of the group, no.
So what? Leela's the only one that's been tricked by this.
Bruce. Yep. No, Bruce.
Cruise
Make an
as
insight
well,
check.
potentially.
That's what we have to. Ross brought it up before. Next campaign, we all have to pick a trickster something. So there's a trickster domain cleric, and then you've got your bards and your rogues and all that.
Yeah.
Just all
Everyone-
lying to each other all the time.
Yeah. It's nothing but shenanigans upon shenanigans. So-
I'm planning to play a psychopath.
A what?
A psychopath.
Nice.
What's
More to it.
Leela and Cruz both believe that Asher is a
there
secret.
you go.
Foundling, on the other hand, no. This is something that she believes and no one else does.
So, back teleport circle back to the capital to get the ship. Take the ship to the coast and ask the sailors.
Sounds good.
We take the ship somewhere we've been before. Probably the closest place we've been would actually be above the jungle of Rancor.
Isn't that where
Belgrad
is?
Helitar, do you think we can get away with that?
Wasn't Sarisa on the coast?
Yeah, the problem Sarisa is on the northeast coast,
Coast.
and
Okay.
Oldport's on the southern side.
Only one of us has a map. Well,
Yes. Well, Tom has the physical map.
Yeah.
I have put it in the chat a long time ago, but
And I don't have it to hand, sorry.
that's all right. I remember where it is. I'm glad you do. Yeah. Well, I can show you. I could probably share my screen to show you, but I'll probably mess up Ross's.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
Who cares about Ross?
I think the closest place,
Wow.
I mean, that's not too close to an invasion point, is the jungle of Rancor. Because otherwise it's the Contrivance Union,
Yeah,
which
we
is
don't-
still not that.
I mean, that's where the fire plane's coming through. I don't think any of that's going to be any good right now.
So if we take the ship to the jungle of Rancor,
It's an interesting point of order. Kafina, actually, of the regular pilots, is the only one that has the only one that's been there.
To where?
The jungle of Rancor, because Lyra was Trick and Cedric was Actian at the time.
True story.
and actually pilot the thing.
Oh, snap, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lyra's been there, yeah. Lyra's been there.
Yeah, wait, but Cedric should have been there, right?
Cedric wasn't there. Cedric was Actian. Cedric was Moose.
Oh, geez, what? How did everyone change their character simultaneously?
We did it all at the same time, remember?
Yeah, weird.
Be there for a few minutes, and
And you were inside a cave. Yeah, you were inside a cave, so...
So, yeah, Lyra's not any use.
Yep, so it's pretty much Kelatar and Kafina and family that have been there. So, as long as I can remember where it is. Fine.
Yeah, but
I mean, person knows where it is. It's fine. It's just an interesting point of order. I know where it is. Of course, you know where it is.
we're not going to go there, though, right? I mean, we are basically going to have to start fighting the second we get there. I don't see how we're going to find an island. I thought the idea is that we're trying to avoid this now and find the way to turn it off rather than the brute force way.
Sorry, what do you...
I'm saying the Forest of Rancor being that close to the Contrivance Union, we know the fire plane opened up there.
No, sorry. What Tom's saying is the Jungle of Rancor is the closest point that you as a group have been to that is to Old Port or Land Submission. Which are the two places that were specifically mentioned that were close to Skathos?
People have turned up.
Never mind. The Jungle of Rancor is a 4-day sail, like a week's walk away from the Contrivance Union. So
it's a reasonable distance. It's not like we're going to be within range of.
Okay.
Well, hopefully, we won't be within range of the fire plane.
Obviously. No, you're at least a week's walk away from it, so you're a good 100 miles or so.
All right, well, yeah, I guess we'll get back to the ship and get going there so we can ask at the ports.
I will relay the plan to Orion of the Deep.
Very well. If you are, I'll keep in contact, and when the recruits arrive, we will come up with a plan.
I will try and keep in contact, but it's limited to my friend's magic, and if he needs the magic for other things, we don't always have the capability, but I'll try and keep you informed.
I can communicate with you, it's not a problem. Good luck, hunt well. Don't die.
I'll try and avoid it.
Get that on a t-shirt, please.
You know what I'm really, really wishing? That I'd spent slightly longer in that weird, creepy gnome's shop and bought the oils against petrification that he had for sale.
Yep.
Oh, not the foreshadowing again that we missed.
Yeah, I know.
Hang on, we're just going by.
What amused me was that Kelatar had given Matt the lore about Skathos before you went there. I mentioned it maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was, before.
So what you're saying is it's Matt's fault.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I wouldn't speak, Ross, Mr. High perception guy sees something coming. Okay.
It happened one time.
I was going to say, we were told about Medusa about 8 weeks ago.
I like to see the chaos.
Yeah, we're going back to the capital anyway. We might be able to pick up some potions there.
I bet he's sold them.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
No, we're not going back to that. We're not going back to the creepy place.
Different place.
Different place,
Yeah, we're going back to Alpine and
Let's be going then.
Chidley. So, thank you.
Second teleportation circle, you are back to the Blaine and heading back to the ship, or are you heading to the shops again?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Lyra's just mentioned that she wishes she'd bought the oil, so we at least know there's an oil for it. So let's just.
That's not here.
No, but I mean, if it's if it's something people who make potions make, then we can probably find it.
Just as a point of order, Lyra, did you not purchase something for Kafina during the last session? Or was that Asher that bought it? No, it was Asher. Asher, you bought something for Kafina in the last session.
But Kafina
Yes,
can't
I
have
brought-
it unless you remember what it was.
I brought Kafina some elven chain.
Well, unfortunately, Kafina's wandered off, so I'll give it to him.
I had children.
I specifically put it in Kafina's backpack.
I did buy Kafina stuff, but it was like clothes.
Yeah, you bought me 2 sets of clothes, one adventuring gear, one fancy gear.
And I, Asher, Helivi daughter of Jorvik, brought you some elven chain.
A what?
Mithril chain.
Elven chain. Different thing.
Elven chain.
Oh. When did that happen?
Last session, but she hasn't given it to you yet. I was just making the point to Asher that she hadn't actually.
This was I, Asher, Helivi daughter of Jorvik, holding out some elven chain.
Oh. Thank you. I don't usually wear this.
Would you like me to read you the item description, Jared?
I was about to Google it, but I'm also trying to roleplay simultaneously. So.
You gain a +1 bonus to your armor class whilst you wear this armor. You are considered proficient with this armor, even if you lack proficiency with medium armor. Made of interlocking metal rings, a chain shirt is worn between layers of clothing or leather. This armor offers modest protection that wears up body and allows the sound of the rings rubbing against one another to be muffled by outer layers.
Wow.
So,
wow. I'm going to pretend Asher kind of rambled that off, and wow, yeah, thank you.
I wouldn't have, but sure.
Like,
I brought
there's
you
a
this.
price tag with the description on the back that she hasn't pulled off yet.
elven chain shirt. So it is.
I couldn't afford the pants. Sorry.
Yeah.
What's your dexterity mod?
Dry clean only.
+1, +2.
+1, sorry, +1.
So you get base.
Yes.
Wait, I'd get an armor class of what?
15.
15.
Wow, that's a lot compared to what I had before.
Which is 11, I believe.
11, yes.
So,
But it's not one of the ones that gives you disadvantage on stealth, so that's good.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you, Asher. That's amazing. How much did it cost? I can reimburse you.
Oh no, it's fine. No, I've been spending all your money without asking for ages. So.
Have you? Or have I just been paying, you mean?
No, I've been taking it directly from source.
By the way, I hope you have been keeping track of the group finances, because that diamond's probably gone now.
It's nowhere near gone.
No. But it's probably not yours anymore.
Yeah, like the contrivance is almost certainly a rubble, like at the moment.
Or
A bit molten. A bit melty.
Something large has taken possession of a very large diamond.
Yes.
So wait, has Asher been nicking money from my pocket? Do I have to mark out more money?
No, I took what was it, like 350,000 directly from.
Oh, the transfer bag, right?
No, I actually travelled to the contrivance.
Went to the contrivance union and took it.
Sure. Whatever.
Hey, look, we all like this keep, right?
Yeah.
They don't just give this sort of stuff away.
That's a fair wizard.
Just
Anyway.
we're talking about items. Just to remind everyone, I have 5 potions of fire resistance, 2 potions of lightning resistance, and 3 potions of thunder resistance that we never used.
Yep. The elemental plane of fire and never used the flame resist potion. I just watched them.
Well, we're going to have to face the Scorched Lord again at some point, so those I'm sure will come in useful.
Just because I will probably forget, I'm just mentioning it now.
And the Master of Storms.
Anyway.
Yeah, those will be fun. Right.
Well, maybe we won't have to if we figure out how to reverse this process.
Yet, let's go to a shop and see if they have any oils of anti petrification.
You wander back into the supply store, and the elf behind says, "Yes, we do have some willow shade oil. That will be that's the best aspect for it." He reaches down, pulls up some vials of this dark blue oil. This can be applied to another creature that has been petrified within the last minute, and it will loosen them up and return them to normal.
Right. How much? How many have you got there?
I have 4.
Right.
And they are 30 gold apiece.
I'll take those, please.
Very well, and hands over the 4 for 120 gold.
I give 12 platinum.
Oh, you're paying for them. Okay.
Might as well. Yeah, I've still got quite a lot of coin, and I rarely spend it. So.
What are the oils called?
Willow shade oil. And they are on D&D Beyond, so you can just add them.
Cute.
Do you have any other potions and items of interest that would be useful for adventurers?
With general supplies, I'm afraid. We don't tend to... We have people, some of the students come and practice and make things for us, and
do you have
supplies.
Any rope?
We do not have rope. The general supply store is across the way, though.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're in the place where there's like the magic school where we get like kind of funked up items,
Dodgy
and
items.
and then we have the like professional shop where we can get good stuff for more money. Which shop are we in right now?
You're in the general magical supply store.
Ah, okay.
Not the super magical store, not the general store, but the general magical store.
This is the general supply store, yeah.
Put your hand down.
No.
Yes, Connor.
If I had admin powers right now.
Can Asher go to a store that would hold magical scrolls?
Yes, can do. What scroll are you looking for?
I'm looking for 1 scroll of Circle of Power, and I'm looking for some Greater Restoration scrolls.
Okay. Bear with.
1 or more Circle of Powers, you know.
Circle of Power
It's a 5th level spell.
I'm aware, but I believe is Paladin only.
Yeah, which I am.
You are, yes. However, the wizards here are not able to produce that.
That's a shame.
But Greater Restoration, yes, they are able to do that for 5th level spell scrolls. They are. Check.
I think that's 100 each.
No.
No.
I
Sorry, I thought level 1 and 2 was 50, and then 3 and 4 was 100, and so on.
But 5th level spells are a lot higher than that.
Yeah, I know that. It starts ramping up a lot.
A 5th level spell scroll. Of cost 4 week. Yeah. They are in the region of. They're about $5,000 each.
Okay.
For Greater Restoration.
Can I get 2 Greater Restoration? Restoration. And then a holy
Release
weapon.
the Greater Restoration.
Holy weapon, if they have.
Same issue as you would have with the.
It's a cleric spell too.
It's not one that they particularly practice here, unfortunately.
I see. They're only practiced the namby-pamby bullshit. None of these powerful spells. I will take. I'm going out on a limb here, but is this guy a wizard by any chance?
Yes.
Good. I would like to offer a trade. I would like 4 of your Greater Restoration spell scrolls.
I have 3, but go on.
Well, we can deal. And I pull out the robes of the Arch Magi, which have been in my bag for a long time.
Hang on, why wasn't Fee using that?
Because they can only be attuned by an evil person.
These are the ones that the
Roywin was wearing.
wore.
Oh, right, all right.
They are completely fucking useless.
As you pull them out, he looks at them, and his eyes just go. No. No.
Are you sure you have nothing in your inventory you wish to trade?
No, I would not be able to sell those. I would not be able to use those. There is no purpose in anyone here.
Don't you think you would look fantastic in them, though?
Obviously,
You would be probably the most powerful wizard in the entire area.
That's not true. The king is much stronger than I, and
why not join him? I'm very good friends with him.
That is no. That's no. No deal. Sorry. I will accept the coin, but not that.
So you want 15,000 for that?
Yes.
Would you like to try the robes on?
No.
No fee? It's just not every time this opportunity presents itself?
No.
I give him 15 grand, take my scrolls.
Take them, slide them away.
I put them away.
Yeah, I rolled an 18 plus Arcana check, and yeah, knew what that was. Knew that was evil.
He knew they were evil, right? Okay.
Do you have a scroll of teleportation?
Which one? The teleport scroll or teleportation circle?
Teleport.
Yes, I do have one. That's
7th level. That's going to be
pricey. I'm aware. The level. That is pricey. That will cost you 30,000 gold pieces.
How about some robes?
I'm fine. I'll write one once I learn the spell.
Okay.
You know who might possibly have some use for those robes? Maybe. An ancient Medusa? Maybe.
I mean, I'm all in the realms of maybes. I see no reason why she wouldn't want them. I also see no reason why she couldn't take them off of my very literal stone dead corpse. But, you know.
What if you just clutch them like this? Because then, when you get turned to stone,
that would be very petty.
Pull it
yes.
away from you.
Yes. If that is going to happen to me, I probably will.
What to say?
Wait, no, even better idea. Why don't you just try to eat it?
You know, Cedric, you have the most wonderful ideas.
Why,
now,
thank you.
I wonder what
thank you, Lyra.
Medusa would want.
Well, didn't someone read that they would like the most beautiful one in the party?
Cedric steps forward.
Maybe we should think about, I don't know, taking someone who's absolutely stunningly beautiful but is due to die at any given moment.
Cedric 2 steps forward.
Cedric 2's not there.
I know.
But he could be. We're in the same continent again.
And does it have to be someone who's alive? And before you react, I mean, does it even have to actually be a real person? I mean,
I was thinking of
just wants-
offering Vestit.
no.
You know where he is.
Yeah, again, not actually a living creature, even now or before. I'm talking. Why not just a statue? I mean, will she know the difference? Can't we just get her a statue of an?
Will
attractive person?
possibly one of the most powerful things left on this plane know the difference between a statue and a real thing? Seeing as she turns things into statues, I think she'd be quite a connoisseur of the art.
like-
Really.
And she probably
If
has
anyone
enough
would-
statues at this point.
If the statement she probably wrote the book on it, I think she might have wrote the book on it. I
And
like
then
the
turn book to
idea.
stone.
Right. Well,
We
then.
also don't know that when they say the most beautiful one in the party, whether they mean a woman or a male. Just saying.
Yeah, and
Sarah
beauty's
Callum.
subjective. You know, maybe she's into someone who's kind of
Goblins.
someone who smells a bit musty and has
I
mushrooms.
mean, if
on.
there's anyone in the party who wants to die rock hard for all eternity, I assume it would be Kelatar.
Feel like I was born and ready for this position. I feel like we made it last time. Medusa brought up
Medusa's like, you don't have to take your clothes off. Oh, honey, I know.
Kudos! Why are you wearing crotchless chaps?
Arseless chaps.
I have one idea, but I'm not sure if we really want to go there. Is that we do know where one statue already might be.
Although, now that I think about it, there's people that. Wait, I wasn't there. Ignore me.
We're not going back to the temple where Vessit is to raid it for loads of statues to just present to this Medusa. I'm definitely on it. We should do that. We could just give her a plethora.
I mean, that was just my thought, that we did know where there are some statues. And we...
Gem statues.
Your
as well.
gemstone.
Yeah.
And she might...
Which we never really found out what that was. Did we?
That was Ralacor.
Yeah, but what is that, like, ability-wise?
It's just a flavour thing for the
Yeah.
Ralacor's petrification, I think.
Wait,
A ball array.
that means we're going to
make
have,
it rain, Ray.
we're going to have to fight something that petrifies before we try and meet with something that petrifies. I feel
So-
like we're doubling up the bad luck here.
It would be good practice before the main event. Look,
As
I'm
Cedric
drinking-
cracks open a cold one.
I'm drinking beer. The crazy ideas are going to start flowing, so...
I mean, we don't know that Ralacor is still in Gaia's, the Temple of Gaia, or that the statues are still there.
That is true.
Well, we also know that he's the captain in the astral plane right now, so he's probably, pretty busy over Maymar.
Yeah. Doing something at Maynard.
It's a real shame we don't have Roywyn as a prisoner. I'd love to offer her up.
Well, we already know that Roywyn possibly isn't dead.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I really wish we had her. So, if there's ever a time we need a prisoner that we hate, it's now.
So how are we finding this island?
We're going to talk
Okay.
sailors.
Let's go and talk to some sailors.
That's not the first step in the plan. There's a few steps before that.
Ash is like,
Do we need to pick up Cedric too before we go, and Fulmar and people like that?
Cedric too wanted to stay at the keep because he felt he
he's
was
incredibly low on healing.
damaged and wanted to be protected.
We are naturally good at healing and medicine, not just necessarily magic, so that makes sense.
We do have the herbs to heal Cedric too as well.
When you say it like that, Ross, it does make it sound like you're a hive mind and there's now like 20 of you.
We are one. We are legion.
We are Cedric's.
Resistance is futile.
We are
Will
the
be
8
disseminated.
arms of Cedric.
Wait,
So
so
casting inflict wounds at 7th level.
you are actually like the mushrooms on you are actually like those parasites that
Like a
might
spore,
kill.
yeah.
Cedric's dead.
I'm going to climb up a tree in a minute and like latch onto it and turn into something.
He's basically parasect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what's happening?
Where are we going?
Right. Go and relieve some very confused guards who've probably only been there about half an hour.
Yeah, as you sort of get there, they've just got the deck of cards out, and they just sort of get. Oh, they stand very quickly to attention. My lady, sirs, ladies.
Are you absolutely sure no one snuck onto our ship?
Whilst we've been here, no one has been on the ship at all.
I believe them. I walk onto the ship.
You believe them? You got a question?
Our trip away didn't take as long as we anticipated. Thank you for watching the ship for us, but we will be leaving now, and you may return to your normal duties.
Very well, my lady. And they salute you and then wander off. Very exciting.
Okay, do we need to pick anyone else up? Fulmar?
Is Nuala coming with us?
I'm looking at
Nuala is still at home.
I'm not taking Nuala on this one because I personally think she's absolutely stunning and beautiful, and Medusa cannot have her, and I feel that's a conflict waiting to happen.
Gotcha.
We're going to take her over my dead body, which would then possibly happen.
Do we want to take Fulmar?
Do we want to ask Fulmar if he wants to come?
I mean, we're kind of heading towards his home anyway, so he may just decide to go home.
That he's gone forever.
I mean, I've got a connection with. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to upset either of them because, well, that will end badly, certainly for me and maybe everyone else. But we can ask if he wants to head home-ish.
I mean, I'm fine. You guys were asking if we should bring Fulmar, and I thought, well, Fulmar should probably just answer that. So,
I think the point was, is do we need to go back to ask Fulmar, or
Yeah.
just go without it?
If we go back and ask Fulmar, the king is currently near our keep.
I mean, it doesn't take us long to get to the keep, does it? With the
Nope.
ship. We may as well just go and ask Fulmar.
I mean, I could also cast 10.
I mean, you could, but I need my stuff.
I can also cast Sending now.
Oh, yes.
We're the rest, by the way.
Yes.
25 very slow words.
The problem is with Cedric, it does happen over 6 seconds, so he'll probably only get 5 words, and then he's.
It would be like, "Hello, it's Cedric. I am contacting you to discuss this very important matter. I will tell you about it now," and then be gone.
I'm confused about your counting style there, Ross. You sort of went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
I was just winging it.
Okay, fine. Anyway,
Only Tom actually counts the number of words.
Yeah. Anyway, so are you heading back to the keep, or are you just fucking off to jungle Rancor?
Both.
We need to go to the keep first.
Don't do it, Luke. Stop it. You're ruining the video feed. God. Now there's going to be a fat "you were muted" over the top of everyone's face.
We're going to the keep.
Go back to the keep. Okay, you go back to the keep, or you bounce together. Right, now at the keep.
I go and find Fulmar.
Fulmar is busy demolishing the pile of chickens.
That does not surprise me.
Nope. Just a lot of chickens on each finger.
I have this image in my mind of I just walk in and kind of
walk in behind him, and then just walk in, and all of a sudden, just the chicken just fly past his like, just flipping up into the air lazily. Just, yes. Well, some things have happened. I'm not quite sure what. I feel like I zoned out for a bit. First, we are heading potentially towards Medusa, but our starting point is over the jungle of Rank. We wanted to know if you wanted to come with us, to go all the way, whether you wanted to go home, or whether you wanted to stay here. There is no wrong answer. Should probably go speak to Dad. I fear you might say that. Very well. Where are we going? Yes. Pat my chickens. He just turns over and reaches for a tablecloth and just starts sweeping the chickens that are left in the pile into this, and just makes a dragon-sized bindle. Carry that. I haven't got hands.
Around his tail.
I drag his chicken. You drag the chickens? I'm not that strong, son.
Which is strange for you, because you're more used to choking a chicken.
Actually, this is an interesting thought. Well, how much does do some chicken weigh? No. Can you take food out of the mighty fortress? No. So as you walk out of the fortress to get into the keep, it vanishes, as does the tablecloth. I'm guessing more chickens. He turns around and walks back in to get some more food.
And this is now, of course, an infinite loop for the rest of the episode.
You know, everyone! No, he stops very pointedly, standing in the doorway, looking at you, just going, could be chicken.
I mean, for him, a normal chicken is literally popcorn chicken.
Essentially, yeah.
I was just thinking that.
Just a bucket of popcorn chicken. Fine. Eventually, he's sated and comes and joins you on the ship. Oh my God, your brother.
Right, are we setting off? We got everything and everyone we need?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Did
you want to drop
octopus bag?
Did you want to drop herbs and things off for Cedric too?
Yeah, you dropped off this herbs and stuff, didn't you, Asher?
Yeah, we've already gave them to him. He just needs now someone with the ability to actually do it.
Which there is. Yeah, I mean, you could ask the wizard that is currently in residence.
Yeah, we can ask the wizard.
I think I already did before, but just in case I didn't, I've given him my giant slayer battle axe.
Okay.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I can set my axe to be a giant slayer, basically. So.
It currently is still a giant. So
I just set it to giant unless we know 100% there's going to be something else we're against.
So you get up on the ship and you teleport over to the jungle of Rancor. As you appear out there, Fulmar goes, it's been something. I couldn't scream more. Say no. And he just dives off the side of the ship.
Cute.
You don't need to go and speak to Belgavad?
I'm sure if there was something pressing, he would contact me. Just give it a couple of hours, and I'm sure there will be. At least his son has returned. That's the only kind of crumb of comfort I'm hanging on to. No. All right. So, with that, you set off to south. Where are you heading for? Old Port or Land Submission? Old Port.
Old Port has literally got port in the name, so that seems like a good place to find sailors.
Fair enough. You head down towards Old Port. It takes you maybe half a day to fly over there. But you eventually reach what looks to be a very old sort of shanty town, almost. Everything is sort of put together through reclaimed wood and various other bits and pieces that have been ramshacked together. Maybe 3 or 4 dozen small buildings that are set up there, and a few small ships and barges that are in position. One quite large ship that is currently in the process of loading. Yes, down there. What are you doing with the ship? Are you descending? Are you flying? Are you going down? Parking outside? What are you doing?
Park outside?
Yeah,
you can park outside.
It'd probably be better if we kind of parked it and just got out and walked.
Okay.
Actually, if you guys want, I can stay on the ship. I think I'll manage to pilot it myself if need be. I don't think it's a good idea to leave it unattended. Yeah.
That might be a good plan.
Very well. If you don't want to talk to sailors.
Well, actually, I kind of do like that sound of that, but
it is also about dawn now that you're doing this. Okay. With the travel and the fact that you've come to and from Jorvik, which is a few hours ahead, you are pretty much at dawn.
Lovely lady.
But yes, and in any case, I'll stay here and keep an eye on the ship, and if trouble happens, I'll pilot it away from trouble.
Okay. So who is heading into Old Port? Which one?
I'll go.
Both?
Well, what's the one that can do the best?
Kelatar, okay. So Kelatar, Foundling, Lyra. Okay. So the three of you.
Surely Asher the captain is coming.
I think, aren't we all just going, apart from Fee?
All right, fine. Everyone's
so, still a kind of from London.
Yeah. All right. You set off.
Start with.
You set off, wandering through, getting on your way to Old Port. You start to notice the various individuals that are here. The first thing you notice about them, none of them are human. Oh. None of them are elves. None of them are dwarves.
Do we know what they are?
Yeah. There are goblins. There are kobolds. There are minotaurs. There are centaurs. There are lizard folk. There is one thing. There's a couple of Loxodon that you see sort of wandering around. It seems to be that a lot of the more obscure races have made this part of the area home, and a lot of the people that you see are wearing tribal clothing, as opposed to the sort of finery that you guys are in. It's mostly sort of skins and furs and hides and whatnot that are tactfully arranged to cover areas for the sake of modesty, but the odd orc wanders past. And he's very old because he's got 3 fingers. But he's sort of wandering through. The goblins all sort of turn to Leela, smile, and say something in Goblin that you don't understand.
The Foundling does.
Foundling does, and so does Cedric. And they're just going, money. You don't understand. Just assume that's what they're saying.
Leela, would you like me to teach you some Goblin?
I think that'd probably come in handy.
Or alternatively, if you wait about 6 days, we can kill you and then bring you back as the.
This was a plan about 2 weeks ago.
It was, but then more people died.
It's fine. We've got a lot on our plate. Don't worry. I'll pick it up. It's fine.
Just as we're just walking, I will try to explain some common words like hello and goodbye and the please and thank yous if they exist in Goblin.
In Goblin, it's not so much. It's not so much just the please and thank you, as much as it is a phrase, which is
mine.
It's please don't kill me, and thank you for not killing me. Yes. Generally, slaves that they often are. But there are equivalents of please and thank you that you can teach Leela. She's going along, and Leela, with her high intelligence, does pick it up. Accent's terrible, but does sort of pick it up. But as you're sort of walking towards the docks, you can see the various sailors are loading things on and off the ships. A couple of quite beefy minotaurs are loading crates onto a ship and taking off barges, loading on it. There seems to be a goblin who is stood on a stool and has just got a stick and is just pointing at various things and going and just waving it around, seemingly giving some semblance of order. And you notice the stool itself is about 6 feet tall. It's sort of like an umpire's chair, tennis umpire's chair. And the goblin is just standing on it, just so that he's taller than everyone else.
I walk up to the goblin.
And we move that over there, and hello, what can I do for you?
Greetings.
Oh, good, come on, thanks.
Giant one, small giant one.
Dockmaster Scroon!
Sure, that'll do. Pray tell, we are looking for the island of Skathos.
Aye?
We fancy making it a holiday destination.
Sorry. Hold on. Hey. Well, what do you want particularly?
I mean, we're looking to find the island, to know where it is, to do some research there. We're here to tell of there being knowledge.
I don't know where it is. Ask Stumpy. You point over, and there is a rather sad-looking knoll that's just sort of sat there, with no legs, hence Stumpy. But it seems to be that around the waist, it seems to be wearing shorts to sort of cover it. The legs are ashen grey, of what you can see.
I walk over to Stumpy. Is Stumpy sat on the floor?
Stumpy sat on the floor, just sort of not begging or anything. He's just sort of just sat there, just enjoying a sandwich.
I sit opposite. Stumpy, just sit down, cross-legged.
Yeah.
I've been told that you are the person to come and speak to, with regards to
sorry,
the acquisition of knowledge about an island named Skathos.
Nah, Skathos is it? Nah. Well, old Stumpy knows where Skathos is.
That's exactly what I was told, hence I came to speak to you.
Don't get that. Terrible idea. Lost my legs.
I missed the
Sorry, what words was said then? Something about
Terrible
his
idea,
legs
bad
missing?
place. Terrible idea. Terrible place. Bad idea. Lost my legs.
Oh, it was lost my legs. Okay.
Yeah. I look at him and say, I'm aware that this is a bad idea, but what if it's the only choice we have?
Ah! Kill yourself.
I'd rather not. You see, myself and my friends, and I point to the rest of the group, we're a bit insane. We like a challenge. We like adventure. And seeing this island and hearing of its somewhat unknown quantity, we thought it'd be a good place to occupy. We thought it'd be a good place to test out our skills, see what we could do. It's not so bad on the screen. I don't want to just keep looking at that.
I know. You're there. It's easy.
I know.
Eyes.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh,
Something about that face reminded me of Ben Kingsley doing Trevor Slattery in Iron Man.
Persuasion, you said.
Yes.
Something about that. Something bug-eyed.
I think I would just like the camera to see what I rolled. So it's a 35. It's not that good.
I can take you there. You have a ship?
No. I mean, I have a ship. It's not a seafaring one.
You don't look like a sailor.
That's because I'm not.
You have a woman's hands!
I am a sailor.
Asher
Oh, sorry.
is a former captain.
You have a woman's form, my lady!
Yes, a woman's form that would quite happily break a normal sailor in two.
Ah! Already into it, wow, 3.
Ah,
One
yes,
leg
my
over
sister.
One leg's over there.
What about the other one up there?
My tail? That was never born with it. That's why they call me Stumpy.
Sure, that's the reason. So you're willing to guide us on some form of ship?
For the price
Of?
I'm just doing my calculations. Hold on.
Sorry, I don't want to rush you.
I have goods and services. You pay for those, and I. 72 copper.
I'm sure we can come to that arrangement and pay you that fine fee for your work.
A pricey bargain, but one that we can afford.
I look round and go, anyone got any copper?
I've only got a couple of silver.
I only have silver.
I only have 7 copper pieces.
Oh, no, I have copper. It's fine. I take out 75 copper and I give it to you.
Hey, your friend's good.
I'm not even going to inside check it. I just want it to be true.
That's the noise he makes when he gets to the copper.
Are we best off acquiring a ship?
No, I can do it by the stars. That way.
Is he actually pointing out to sea?
He's pointing out to sea, yes.
It's a good start, at least.
Do we need to wait for nightfall? Or can we set up?
We can use the big star. The big star. Then point east. When the sun is rising.
Oh god.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna die.
I think Stumpy might die.
We have a direction of travel. We don't necessarily have a way of traveling other than.
Fee has her boat.
We have the
I'm not sure that can hold all of us.
We have
Yeah.
We have the blimp. That seems like a good way to travel.
That was the other ship that I was talking about. So
Widget! Fetch my barrel! Widget. A kobold comes out from around the corner and just scurries off and then comes back with essentially a barrel, but on one of those carts that you use to that you use at work to move a barrel around.
It's basically on a sack barrel.
Essentially, yeah, on a sack barrel. And it just sort of rolls it, but it's sort of welded onto the base of it.
I questioned Stumpy and said, "Are we paying for his services too, or?"
No, he just moves me around.
Right. Okay.
It's a short barrel. It's like a little keg kind of thing, but it's enough for his torso. It's wide enough for him to sit on, and he just pulls himself into it.
Well, Widget,
Right.
Widget, Stumpy, follow, and I walk back towards the ship.
To adventures!
Oh god.
And I take Stumpy and Widget and anyone else who's actually following at this point back to the airship. As we get inside of it, I'd say, and this, Stumpy, is our craft.
Ah! You have a woman's craft! Smooth and calm.
I mean, technically, yes.
So glad
Somebody
Leela's not the
report
most
that,
annoying one.
No.
So glad Leela's not the most annoying one now.
Oh, I'm loving Stumpy.
I welcome them aboard as I walk on. And then look at Fee, who is sitting there, probably kind of looking in mild horror. There is a rope ladder to get on. You have to try and figure out how to get him up.
I'm looking at the rope ladder and the man in the
Roll.
barrel.
Yeah. If I'm the only one on the ship, I would have stayed in pilot mode because I would have been genuinely needing to see the surrounding area. I'm a single person. I don't know how I'd survey the area without being mentally linked to the ship.
Ross,
I take the barrel under my arm and then just
It's very
fly.
fitting for what was going on.
I'm going to back Asher up using my extra arms to help steady the barrel.
Because you've not taken a rest since you summoned them.
Yeah.
Okay.
a hand from up on the ship.
Speaking of Asher,
Wandering around just wacky waving inflatable arms foundling.
Oh, actually, yeah. When we're on the ship, can someone Yoda Stumpy to me?
Yoda him?
It's like strap him to my back.
Oh my
So-
god, need help.
Now the small kid
Yeah.
backpack.
No, you want his legs for that, because then you can do what Deadpool did, and just wrap the legs around him.
Just wrap him around.
By the way,
you found your purpose in life. I'm pretty sure it wasn't this.
you said his legs were grey. Like, has he got stone legs, basically?
Basically the sort of mid-thigh is stony, and then it's been broken off.
Yeah, and we've got... Oh, they're broken off. Okay, I was about to say we've got 4 things that could reverse that, but it might reverse it to a bloody stump, so...
Well, it would. It would reverse it. It's incredible pain.
Yeah, this happened a long time ago for Stumpy.
The 3 greater restoration spell scrolls, on the other hand, though, would reduce him into an agonizing pulp. At least when they're in stone, they don't hurt.
I can't see out from in here. There is a place up top where you...
I take him to the roof.
Take him up to the roof.
Again, I help out.
Ah, see now. Onwards!
I give Fee the directional heading in the way that he is pointing.
Yeah, if I'm linked to the ship, I should actually be able to see around the ship, so I should be able to see him on the top and where his arm's pointing, right?
Not quite. It doesn't have. You do have a bit of a directional sense around it, but you have sort of like a blind sight of thing. You can't really, sort of vague sense where it is. But you've got to
Even spaceships have blind spots.
They've got a communication relay that does go from the roof downwards. You sort of either put that in at one point to make it easier, like a tube essentially that runs down the middle.
It's just 2 cups with string.
Essentially, yeah. That's basically
It works.
2 cones and a pipe. It works.
Speaking tube, yeah, classic.
Yeah. And as the ship sets off into the sky, it takes a couple of days before you get there, and it takes many course corrections by Stumpy. Just sort of pointing in various directions of when, at night he's able to sort of correct himself based on the actual position of the stars. But over the course of a couple of days, if there's any preparations that you wish to make before you come up on the island of Skathos.
I'd like to ask Stumpy, how come he didn't end up dead? How come he got away and managed to get back to land?
A great tale was lost. Mine was bushy. When I was born, I got lucky. Widget here had the rowing boat, and I could crawl on my hands to the boat. Do I believe the tale?
Make an insight check.
Well, I don't, but in 13.
13 seems to be telling the truth.
But I rode the waves back. Dropped a couple of sea turtles to my legs.
Anything else in the back? I'll see turtles involved.
So was it something specific you said, or did you just got lucky?
Yes! I only got my legs taken off.
But you didn't die.
That's the key thing. Not to die.
Well, we'll hope to continue that trend. In fact, you may want to stay on the ship rather than disembark.
Not to worry. I shall watch. I shall watch.
This guy hasn't thought this through because, like, I doubt he's going to be able to pilot the ship. And if we all like leave the ship and die on the island, he's just going to be on this blimp in the middle of the ocean.
You don't know.
You don't know how intelligent he is.
No, how intelligent Widget is.
Yeah.
Stumpy and Widget are just going to hijack our ship while we're on the island.
And then you've got two Sky Pirates, and then that's a whole other campaign that I have to run. It's just Widget and Stumpy Sky Pirates.
The adventures of Stumpy and Widget. I'm on board for that.
It's a Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah.
12-minute episodes, very nice.
Yeah. But unless there's any other preparations that you wish to do before you get there?
I mean, if it's going over days, can reading people do some reading?
Reading people can do some reading.
How much would we get in those few days?
However much time you want. You've got 2 days of flying, so...
Yeah.
Well, you're flying, so...
I'm flying, yeah.
So probably not.
Oh, not at all. Not even in, like in the evening.
Well, no, because you're still piloting the ship.
Yeah. Going.
We could alternate pilots.
Actually, you can rotate pilots around so other people can take it if you want to just take a break and have someone else do it. Because obviously you can rotate for sleep, so...
All I'm going to do is attune to my shield again, and then I'm good to pilot for whatever.
Okay. All either of my characters are going to do is nothing. So
attune to the ship and pilot it for a bit. And, yeah. So you can take time to read if you wish.
How much?
I mean, how long do you want? Do you want to spend all of your time reading as opposed to piloting?
I want to get the book finished, and I've only got 16 more hours on it. So,
how many days have you taken since you started reading it?
I've been adding up hours in the notes. I'm up to 32 already.
Yeah, no. But you have to read it over a certain days. So, when did you start reading it?
When we first got it.
Was it the same time as I got mine?
Yeah.
4 days ago, then.
Oh, nice.
So you would have to read the remaining 16 hours per day, essentially, because you've had another 2 day and a half since then.
Yeah.
So I would say you would have to in order to finish it off fully, you would forego a night's rest.
Okay, but can I do that at the start and then do the nights?
Well, you have to do it at the start, yeah. I'm just saying it's a general thing.
Yeah. All right, yeah. If that's cool, then yeah.
Okay. So you finish your tome. Charisma goes up. But as the island starts to come into view, you see a very clear distinction of this island. It's not quite circular. It's sort of weird. It's sort of teardrop shaped. In the center, there is a crater for a volcano, a very shallow one, interestingly, rather than what you would normally expect, sort of quite high sphere. But on the ground, there is the sort of beach, and then there is plant life that sort of goes in. There's 3 very distinct bands where you can see the regular plant life, then the petrified wood. But you can still see some greenery in there, and then as it gets much tighter in towards the cusp of where the volcano is, a very distinct, everything is ashen grey. You can see that there is a sort of flicker of red that does trickle out of the side of the volcano, and there is a magma lake that is pouring down the southern side of the island. And as you sort of notice it towards as this is towards the point of the teardrop, the ship does appear to be the island itself does appear to be leaving ripples behind it. It is very slowly moving.
Hence, no one knew where it was.
No one knows exactly where it is.
I was going to ask if it was a moving island.
It does very slowly migrate.
Huh. So we weren't looking for a migrating bird. We were looking for a migrating island.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Iron turtle.
But the island is there. As you look down upon it, you can see the lava. You can also see the sort of deep green rivers that do run through. The island looks intimidating. You wonder, as you stand up here, looking down on it, what the island has to offer and what secrets it might hold. And that is where we'll pick up next week. So,
Someone's gonna die.
Yep, I reckon it's Stumpy and or Widget.
I forgot we all need buckets for our heads. Because that way you can only see your feet, so you at least won't step on anything, but you also...
You'd be walking and all of a sudden there'd be a Medusa head just like, whoop, underneath the
Yeah, they'll look under. Well, then she has to get close enough for you to stab her, doesn't she? Yeah.
Unless they're dropping from the top and then just pull the buckets off and just like Spider-Man, look into your eyes. So we'll pick that up next week and we shall see what happens on the island of Skathos. Should be fun. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep yourself safe out there and we shall see you next time. Thank you for joining me. Good night.